Have you ever felt so burnt out with everything going on in life that you wanted to just... If you haven't noticed, I've been inactive for the past few months because honestly, I've been struggling with a lot lately, and as I kept trying to my way through all the pain, all the little poopy things ended up piling up and consuming me to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. Every day I was constantly thinking, I want to run away. And after thinking about it for a minute, I realized, then why don't I? Why don't I just run away? I have money in my bank account. I'm an adult. I'm independent. I want to go to Japan. So in February, I packed my bags, booked one of those cheap capsule hotels because actually I don't have money, and decided to spontaneously fly to Japan to, I don't know, find myself or whatever, aka run away from all my problems. Originally, I was going by myself, but my good friend Moo decided it would be better and more fun for the both of us to be together. And thus, the both of us embarked on this journey of self-discovery to Japan. Before we arrived in Japan, we did what everyone should do when traveling to a foreign country. We learned about how to navigate the train system, useful Japanese travel phrases, and general social etiquette. But all those basic survival skills somehow got left behind at home because as soon as we landed in Japan and headed to the trains to get to our hotel, we somehow ended up taking the wrong train in the opposite direction we were supposed to be going and didn't notice until almost an hour into the commute. Best start to this therapeutic trip, am I right? You may be thinking, well, how are you left the trains? All you have to do is read their English signs. It's not as simple as you guys think, especially for people like me. Mo and I would obviously see the English signs, but then we'd just get so stressed out from navigating through the crowds of rushing people while also not being able to find the right platform or the signs that direct us to the right platform. And when we did find the right platform, we would just impulsively hop on the first train we saw because of panic and fear and... Wait a minute. This train! It's so big! And also the sponsor of today's video, Honkai Star Rail. Produced by Hoyoverse, the same makers of Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail is a free-to-play multi-platform space fantasy RPG where you can step onto the Interstellar Platform Express and play characters with gorgeous attire and amazing designs. In this vast universe spanning thousands of years, you can explore the exciting and intricate sci-fi world with multiple side stories and rich in-game lore, where you meet tons of charming and diverse characters, listen to their heartfelt tales, and embark on a wondrous interstellar journey together with your formidable team. With professional cinematography and animation direction that's audio and visually on par with top-notch animation and TV series, followed by an abundance of exciting battles that display many unique and stunning special effects from character combat abilities, every part of this game is an audio-visual feast. Like, what more can we ask for except for more gorgeous characters? Which is why Honkai Star Rail has brought us their new limited 4-star character Yukong and 5-star character Luocha, a cool and collected healer and hottie who also deals powerful AoE damage and dispels enemy buffs. He protect, he attack, and he's hot! Download the game using the link in the description and use the redemption code below to redeem your 50 Stellar Jades. Thank you again to Honkai Star Rail for sponsoring today's video. Public transport is not fun, you guys, especially when it becomes rush hour. And if you didn't know, Japan is notorious for its horrific rush hour crowds. It gets so unbelievably crowded, you end up getting pushed and squished and put in really, really awkward positions. Walking around was also a huge struggle. I drive everywhere. I don't live in a walkable city, so my feet felt destroyed at the end of every day. It felt like I was walking on shattered glass for bones. And I would be so amazed at how there were so many fashionable girls in Tokyo that would wear the highest heels and still strut around like nothing. Japanese people really be built different, man. At some point, I gave up wearing proper shoes and started wearing house slides everywhere, even though it was really embarrassing and got me a lot of awkward stares. Aside from transportation being a struggle, the language barrier, oh my got the language barrier. So I studied Japanese a little bit in college and also self-taught myself some vocab and phrases before the trip, but not enough to hold a proper conversation. And to be honest, I think it was a lot easier for us to just not use Japanese and be transparent that we were foreigners who couldn't understand anything, because every time we did try to speak Japanese, the person who was helping us would think we actually were Japanese and then respond to us in Japanese, to which I would then have an internal panic attack from not understanding anything. And then they would continue speaking in Japanese, hoping we would understand after some time. In the end, we resorted to communicating other ways, like with a lot of eye contact.
はい、お袋いりますか？
Huh?
バッグ。
Sometimes charades. すみません。
あ、小さいサイズでよろしいでしょうか？
A lot of pointing.
はい、ウーロン茶を2つ、カツ丼セットを1つ、そしてカツ丼バーガーステーキセットを1つでよろしいでしょうか？
As time passed by, I started picking up on familiar sounding phrases, so communicating became easier over time. And I learned that using the Google Translate app to read signs and ask for help was a lot more helpful than acting like an Ooga Booga Goblin while workers got stressed out trying to understand me. So yeah, definitely recommend getting that app. Aside from these little bumps from getting around and struggling with the communication, I also had way more unique and fun experiences, like finally fulfilling my dream of trying on a cute kimono. Let me tell you guys about wearing kimonos. Never have I ever felt fear from wearing clothes until I got fitted into a kimono for the first time. When you first go in for a kimono fitting, it's the fun part. You go through endless rows of gorgeous kimono patterns, and after picking the one you like best, the stylist gives you a different option for the other parts that pair with the kimono. Afterwards, you're brought into a dressing room where the magic happens. It was really nice because being dressed in such pretty garments by someone else made me feel like a royal princess in those isekai manhwas. It was all fun and cute until it wasn't. I wasn't aware that kimonos were so insanely tight to the point where it was difficult to breathe. Every time I thought that obi couldn't get any tighter, it did. I should have told her to loosen it just a tad bit, but I was too anxious and afraid to offend her. Although she probably would have been more than happy to adjust it for me. I just endured it for whatever reason. I was also being dressed next to two other Japanese girls who looked unfazed through it all, so I was doing my best not to look like I was dying, even though I was ready to throw myself on the ground. In the end, the stylist did a fantastic job at styling my kimono and braiding my hair so pretty. I was so happy and felt so gorgeous. So that was my trip to Japan, you guys. I know this video was a lot of, "Wah, trains are hard, wah, I can't understand anything, wah, kimonos hurt." I want to say that I also got to experience a whole bunch of crazy, unique, and fun things in Japan. Like Mario Kart racing through the streets of Tokyo, eating at so many delicious restaurants, cafes, food stalls, playing with the pigs. I'm so hungry. The Nara deer, and the Asakusa mountain monkeys. And I also got to dress up like a samurai and learned how to wield a sword the ninja way. This trip was honestly the best trip I've ever had in my life. Japan is such a beautiful and fun country to visit, and I really wanted to share this experience with you all. If you guys have any Japan travel tips or travel tips in general, I'd love to read them in the comments, since I am planning to come back very soon, and hopefully it'll help others planning to visit Japan in the future. So moral of the story is, there is no moral of the story. Japan was fun, that's it. Ah!